What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another video review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Prime Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Sideways. This is a really exciting figure for me to get as someone who watched Transformers Cybertron a lot as a kid. As I mentioned in my previous Cybertron reviews, it's really finally exciting to get a Decepticon, technically, I guess, not a neither faction, but technically a Decepticon in this new line from the Transformers Cybertron cartoon. It's a cartoon I haven't watched in a fair bit of time, or a series I haven't watched in a fair bit of time all the way through, but I watched it a lot. And so Sideways was definitely a character that was a decent side character that I enjoyed seeing from time to time on screen. And he had one significant plot point that I did enjoy learning the backstory of, which was his backstory, and technically Soundwave's backstory. But taking a look here, you can see the nice box here. You can see the Transformers, obviously. You can see the Age of the Primes. There you can see the Sideways there with the Decepticon logo, Hasbro logo right down there. You can obviously see Transforms in 21 steps, and you can obviously see all the nice artwork here of Sideways himself, both in his robot mode as well as in his, I guess, Cybertronian jet mode. Or actually, well, funnily enough, given his backstory, technically not Cybertronian. You can see some more nice artwork here of Sideways on the side. See some more nice artwork here of the Age of the Primes artwork on the side as well. And then you can see your obligatory product shots on the back. Obviously, some really cool stuff. Obviously, you can see the Transformers Cybertron robots in disguise. The main thing I'm really hoping with this figure is I really hope we get some more Cybertron figures going forward. Obviously, they're releasing at a bit of a slower rate. They're not releasing at a super fast rate. But I'd be excited to get some more characters from this show because the original toys weren't something that I was able to get all too much of. I was definitely a kid and I bought a few of them, but I never got many of the originals. And so I think that's it for the box as per usual. I think Hasbro kills it with the packaging. And so without further ado, folks, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Prime Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Sideways in his Cybertronian jet mode and out of the box, and I gotta say, this guy looks really, really good. They didn't really need to do too much to the original toy, all things considered, to basically make this figure, because when I'm looking at the original toy, online and stuff like that from what I've seen, they just had to essentially make him, have, tighter joints, better joints, better articulation. At the end of the day, also just giving him a little bit of more streamlined stuff with certain parts of his transformation, just making, again, all the joints feel better. And so when you come to this figure and you're comparing it to the original, I think I saw that that Toy Guys review on this figure. There really isn't too many differences besides maybe the articulation, some of the locking mechanisms and stuff like that, but for the most part those figures have relatively remained very, very similar to one another. And so taking a look here, you can see it does look really, really good. And when you see if I can throw a picture of Sideways on screen right now, he does look really, really faithful to the show. It looks really, really good. Even the original toys are all very faithful to the show. But taking a look here, you can see the very nice silver in detail here on what would be the cockpit. You can see the nice orange there, nice orange accents. See the green up here. This is his signature weapon, which we'll talk about sooner rather than later. You can see some nice bronze on where his toes will be. You see the nice silver and the black. All the colors look really, really good. And you obviously see the orange for the weapon as well. And on the bottom, there's no landing gear or anything, but it's a Cybertronian jet, so what are you going to expect, right? So at the end of the day, when it comes to this figure, I think it looks great. You can also see some 5mm here, which will end up being used, I believe, in the robot mode. So overall, when it comes to the jet mode, I think it does look really, really good. Very faithful to the show, and this is exactly what it is. Now, when it comes to the actual design, I do like how it looks like a bat. This is what it reminds me of. It's very, I'll say, since I'm recording this literally 3 days before Halloween, very Halloween-esque. I could absolutely see someone put this on their shelf for like a Halloween decoration because he absolutely fits that bill. So overall, really solid jet mode, very faithful to the show, feels really good too. The plastic feels really, really solid, and he just feels nice and tight. The only major issue I have is how this weapon locks in. So I'm actually going to remove it and show it to you guys right now, his signature weapon. The only thing is that you technically have two tabs here, and then you have a tab there, and you have two holes here where those black tabs are supposed to go into, so these two holes right here, and then this little bar right here is where this goes in. If you don't have the fists, which these are his fists, which will become obviously part of his arms, if you don't have them like rotated the right way, this doesn't exactly like snapping on very well. I was able to get it to snap on, and really it only snaps at the orange bit. The black tabs are really just like for show at this point. They really just don't lock in at all, for me at least. I saw someone on Facebook had this issue too, so I'm not the only one who had this issue. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. But when taking a look at the actual weapon itself, it does look really, really solid. You can see here, you have the Cyber Planet key, which you can plug in right there. It does look really nice. Obviously, very unique to Sideways. This is the only one who had the orange one, but has the Decepticon logo, has the orange on there. Obviously, the more sort of I guess, like, theatrical, much more standout looking Cyber Planet key. Then you can see, obviously, the nice silver there, and then you can see the Decepticon logo. Now, if you come under here, you have the slider. So in the show, I don't exactly know why he changed his symbols. There's a couple things. I mean, I get why he did, and I don't get it. Like, the way that they showed it in the show just confused me, and it still confuses me to this day. But yes, you can change the logo, whether Autobot or Decepticon. And then you can take this, and then you can split it. And then you can also split it once again, because when you did the Cyber Planet key, this was what happened, is that you would get this. Oh, well, you would get that, but for his regular weapon, you could just get this. And this is very accurate to how it was in the show, and you'll see that later. So we'll just close that back up and put it here. And since we're talking about the accessories, the only other accessories actually happen to be his wings. So you can actually remove these, and these will eventually become weapons. And you'll see that in the robot mode. You'll see how we end up putting those in the robot mode, but you can see that they're just tabbed in via these two tab holes on either side, and then these longer rectangular tabs, and then the tab holes there on the side as well. You can see those right there. So these look really good, though. You can see the nice silver, very accurate to the show, nice molded in detail across the board. Looks really, really good. And so, like I said, in robot mode, I'll show you how these accessories are integrated. But because we have to talk about, I wanted to talk about this issue that I had, might as well talk about the accessories now. And so what we're going to do is we are going to sit sideways off to the side here, and we are going to be doing our size comparisons. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, he's very much an average deluxe size figure. There's nothing really crazy about it. This, funnily enough, this jet mode that he has reminds me, now that I'm thinking about it, of, was it the Thrilling 30 Deluxe Class Megatron, where it was like that jet mode that he had that looked like a B-52 bomber? It really just looks like that to me. Like this, that's what this looks like a Cybertronian version. But as you can see, when it comes to the size, average deluxe size, so he fits in perfectly well. And in the show, he was also just an average size Transformer, so very similar to like a lot of the car robots in that show as well. So his size is perfectly fine here. And to bring in another Cybertron figure, he is with the Transformers, I believe, Legacy United, Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Hotshot. As you can see, these two look great together. I can't remember exactly in the show if Hotshot and Sideways themselves ever had a direct encounter. Obviously, I know that Sideways had encounters with both sides of the Autobots and the Decepticons. I just couldn't remember if these two had a direct interaction. Maybe they just saw each other in passing. But obviously, since this is really the only major figure that we have of an average size next to Starscream, it would be nice to wanted to show you guys obviously the size between these two. So yeah. Alrighty guys, now it's time to get into the transformation. And when it comes to the transformation, it's just very similar to how the original toy was, so there's nothing crazy about it. There is a little bit of frustration more or less with the arms, but that's more or less getting it back into his jet mode rather than going out of his jet mode and into his robot mode. So the first thing we're going to do is remove all of the weapons. So we'll remove all the wings and that weapon on the top, and then we'll just set this all off to the side for now. Then from here, what you can do is you can untab the legs. What was the wings, what will become the legs. And what you can do is sort of stretch these out and flare those out just a little bit here, like so. Then from here, what you can do is we can then take this entire section, so it'll fold once at the orange bit, then it'll fold again at the black part, and you want to keep it folded like that. So you want it like this so that you have clearance for the arms. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these arms, you're going to untab them like so, and then you're going to rotate them out like this. And what you want to do is you rotate the arms around like so, so that the bronze part is facing the front like so, because this will become the top of his robot, so that bronze part should be facing the front. Then from here to do the arms, what you're going to do is you want to rotate it so that the 5mm peg is facing the outside, and you want to rotate the fist so that it is facing that way like so. Do the same thing here, so just rotate it all the way around so that the 5mm is facing outward, then rotate that there. Then to do the legs, just rotate them around, so bring it down and rotate it around, and then you can see the foot, just fold out the toe, fold out the heel, same thing here, fold out the toe, fold out the heel. What you want to do is you fold this back up, and then you fold the waist section down, fold these bits down, and lastly, we're going to do is the head of Sideways. So all you got to do, fold this out, take that, accordion it up like so, put it into that slot, rotate the head around, put this here. And then to finish the look, because he's an iconic, like it wouldn't be sideways if it was just like this. So for the wings, what you're going to want to do is whatever side that the wings were taken off on. So what I like to do is I use this part as the indicator. So I will peg this onto his left side, our right there on that 5mm. Like, if I can actually keep it in my hands. Tab it in like that, and then we'll do the same on this side. So tab it in like that so that this part is facing backwards. Then from here, to finish it all off, take the actual weapon, fold this out, this little tab here, then just plug it into the 5mm on his arm. And well, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Sideways in his robot mode. And so setting this guy off to the side here, I'll see if I can find a picture of Sideways right here. This looks really, really good. He's basically one-to-one from the cartoon, and I absolutely love it. Because if we're getting more Decepticons like this, obviously we have Starscream, then we have Sideways now. I would like to get someone like Thundercracker. I wouldn't mind getting, was it Ransack and Crumple Zone? Those guys would be cool. Maybe, was it a Scourge? You know, just getting a lot of the Decepticons and stuff like that. I would, you know, just seeing that. Obviously getting a Megatron would also be really, really cool. I'd love to see a new Cybertron leader class like Megatron. That would be so awesome. But I think he looks really, really good. And so sending him off to the side here, you can take a look at the details. The head sculpt is awesome. I love how he looks more like a drone than anything else. Very unique character. And when he talked, I'll tell you, the only thing, the indicator that you knew that Sideways was talking is that his eyes would flash. So every time he would talk, his eyes would flash. And that's how you would talk. But you can see the head sculpt looks really, really good. Very faithful to the show. Again, the silver comes out here. It looks really, really good across the board. And then when you look at him on the back, sure, he does look a little anorexic, maybe from like this angle right here. You can obviously see a lot of the stuff, but he's very clean. There's nothing here on the back that would really indicate that he is that he has any form of a backpack, and so he'll fit nicely on the shelf. And so the only accessory integration besides this, obviously what you'll see is we can do this like that, fold this all the way out, and then you can just fold that out. Obviously this is his iconic weapon that he used in the show, but the other iconic weapon he uses, if you remove the wings, what you're going to want to do is have them so that it'll end up like this. So what I like to do is, oh, whoops, excuse me, like this. There you go. You had to the other way, like this, and like this. And this is his other weapon that he used. And so you just use those 5mm pegs, and now you have him with both of his weapons, which is really, really cool. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the actual accessory integration, it's really well done, and you can really get those iconic poses out of him and the iconic looks for him with his weapons and everything like that. It's just really, really cool, and I think it's really, really awesome how he looks. Like, I'm just very much a big fan, and I really hope going forward we get some more Decepticons. And so what we're going to do is our size comparisons, because we looked at all the details and everything like that. So we're going to set him off to the side there. Alrighty folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, he's a little bit bigger than Magnus, but he's still an average deluxe size figure, as you'll see that with Hotshot here. And here he is with the Transformers Legacy United Deluxe Class Cybertron Universe Hotshot. As you can see, these two are about eye to eye with each other, and this is about how he was in the show. Like I told you, he was an average-sized Transformer. Like Megatron was huge. Someone like Crumple Zone was also really, really big. Obviously, you had more, sort of medium-sized characters, maybe like Scourge and Starscream and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Sideways, along with most of the Transformers in that show, were pretty well-sized, and this is no different. So the fact that these two are eye to eye, I have no issues with that. Alright, you guys, and so here comes the articulation, which is pretty solid, and the other thing about the articulation is he's just more not loose. A lot of the copies of the original Sideways toy from the original Cybertron toy line are just really, really loose these days, specifically in his waist, and so for this guy, I'm really happy to say that that's not the case. So, his head is on the swivel, but you do get, like, up and down, technically, because of how he transforms. Shoulders are on the full 360, you have a rotation of the upper part of the bicep, you have 90 at the elbow, and then you have rotation for the wrist, which is nice for a deluxe. You never really get that these days. Like I told you, gears, I think, really set the standard for really good deluxe class articulation. These also flare back and forth if you need more room and stuff like that. He also has a full waist joint, which is really, really nice. That's really, really good. And then you have kick forward that far. You have to lift this up. You have kick back really, really far as well. You can see how far that goes back. And then you have a way more than 90 at the knee because of how he transforms, rotation to the upper part of the thigh, and then you have some really good ankle rocker pivots. So in all reality, you can get this guy into some really cool freaking poses, and I absolutely love that you can do that because it's nice, especially when you consider the era, early 2000s that this guy came out. It's really nice to be able to move a figure like this around and this character like this in this sort of manner. That's really freaking awesome. Alrighty guys, and now it's time to get into the reverse transformation. So when it comes to the reverse transformation, I'll say it's a little bit more annoying than getting him to his robot mode, but at the end of the day, it's not too bad. It's just really this weapon part that annoys me. So first things first, obviously what we're going to do is we are going to remove all of his weapons, and what you want to do for this weapon is obviously fold down that little tab from this to this, and then set that off to the side. Then we will take what will become his wings, remove that from his hand, set that off to the side. So straighten them out, and then what I like to do is start off with the arms here. So with the arms, what I like to do, obviously straighten the head, rotate this around like this, and all you gotta do, I believe, is just fold the fist like so. Or is it, I believe, actually no. Fold the fist up like this, then rotate it all the way around. Yep. So fold the fist so that the top is facing the front, and then just rotate this all the way around. And then from here, what we can do is you can do the head. So the head, just fold this down, accordion this, and rotate it all the way around. And then you can just fold this back down. Then just fold this, and what you should have is you should have his little horns sticking out the front like that. Then from here, you can fold this up. Now what I like to do is you can bend this back and then bend the entire thing down on the black joint there. And then what you're going to want to do, fold this, rotate this down, and rotate it, rotate this all the way around. Well, excuse me, like that. And then from here, you'll do the same. So what you're going to want to do is fold this like so that the bronze is facing the bottom, and then you can rotate this all the way around. Like this, and then what you'll see is that there's a tab hole there and a tab there and a tab hole there. You want to push this up and you want to tab these together like that. Sort of straighten this top part like that and make sure it is all like this. Then it's very simple from here. Fold the orange part down just so you have the clearance. I just had that for the clearance. Then you can fold this part so that this will all snap right into place like this. Then you can sort of fold the orange bit up. Then you can rotate this around. Rotate this like so. Fold the foot in like this, and what you'll see is that there are tabs right there on the side that will tab into these tabs on the bottom of the feet. So you can just tab like that, and then what you'll see here is that there are these tabs, these black tabs right here will tab into the bottom of these like jet boosters that he has in the back. So again, just rotate this around just to get that. I always get annoyed with this. Fold the heel, fold this in, tab this into place like that. You can squish that down like this. Then all you got to do, take the wings, plug them in like this. Then to complete the look, all you got to do is take this, and I like to just drag it across and then just feel for that when it catches. And just tab that in like that. Very nice. I'm glad I got that first try. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Prime Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Sideways back in his Cybertronian jet mode. And so guys, for my final concluding thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Prime Cybertron Universe Deluxe Class Sideways, this guy's a really solid figure. I don't think he really does anything much crazier than the original, except for just feeling like a better figure. Like the, plastic feels better, the joints feel better, they feel tighter, he feels like he's going to last a lot longer. And at the end of the day, the best thing that this figure does is just that he's super faithful to the show. The jet mode looks absolutely fantastic. The paint and the detail is absolutely on point. The transformation is very similar to the original, and but it does a couple of things that just allow the joints to be tighter and feel better, so that the waist in particular isn't super loose. And then when you get to his robot mode, very faithful to the show. Exactly, basically 1-to-1. You have the iconic weapon, you have his iconic weapons, you have the Cyber Planet key, which looks really, really good, and I do like the accessory integration. At the end of the day, someone may feel like it's parts foring, but I think it's really, really cool how all of the stuff just integrates into his vehicle mode very nicely, so that when it comes to vehicle mode weapon storage, it doesn't look out of place. It looks like it's just right at home. home. And so at the end of the day, despite all the good I have to say about it, the only major bad thing I have to say about this figure is that it's just kind of there. It's not like this huge standout release in general that's going to turn heads and that everyone's going to want and salivate for. At the end of the day, it's just a solid release that isn't super special, right? But for me, for someone who's a fan of the Cybertron cartoon, this specific, part of the trilogy, the Unicron trilogy, this figure speaks a lot to me, and so I'm really happy to pick it up. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this guy an 8 out of 10. He's a really, really good figure in my opinion, and I would highly recommend picking him up if you want like a solid like Cybertron-ish toy, like more like just like it's a Cybertron vehicle mode, you don't really care about it and stuff like that, fun to transform and play as a desk toy. Or if you're like me and you enjoy the Unicron trilogy specifically, you also just like Transformers Cybertron, and you want to collect all the figures that Hasbro are getting for the Cybertron universe side, you'll definitely pick this guy up. So I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description of that. Also leave links down below to Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon if you guys wish to look at this guy on those retailers and buy him through there instead of Big Bad Toy Store. In addition to that, I assume that this guy should be hitting retailers relatively soon, if not right now. So if you're hunting IRL, I definitely wish you the best of luck in finding this guy IRL. And so happy hunting on that front. And so I think that's really it though. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I will catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.